Hello and welcome to your post-match row here on Anfield Index Pro, podcasting to you from my evening field here in beautiful rural Ireland. I'm Trev Downey, and join me to reflect upon the horror show that was Liverpool 1, Manchester United 2 in the Premier League from Anfield are Dave Hendrick and Karl Matchett. Um, I can't take this seriously, Dave. Something's happened to me. Some sort of weird mental thing break has occurred in me. I can't take this seriously enough. I should be fuming, should be absolutely full of rage, and instead I find myself shrugging. I don't understand what's going on. There are too many. It's almost like that's it. There are too many things, aren't there, to talk about what's wrong. You can't put your finger in any one area or any three areas or indeed any five fucking areas, Dave.
No, so I was the same as you. I logged on thinking I was going to be quite pissed off about the whole thing. But I was just thinking of the conversation we had in the Anfield Index group chat on WhatsApp the other day. And there was four or five people in the conversation. Myself, Harry, you were involved, and Simon, and I think Dan Kennett. So that's the group that was involved. And we were just all sort of, surmising what's going wrong and talking about like what's the plan here. And we're all older persuasion. There's no, youngsters among us. Harry is probably the youngest by quite a way. And we were talking about the fact that like none of us who've all watched a shit ton of football can really figure out what the plan appears to be. And also none of us can really put our finger on what the issue is because there's so many issues. There's not one area of this team that's working right now. There's no partnership anywhere on the pitch that you're looking at and saying, well, you know what? At least that's rock solid. The centre-backs don't look great together. The centre-backs and the full-backs don't look great together. The midfield's not working. The 9 and the 10 aren't connecting. The full-backs and the wingers aren't connecting. Everywhere you look in this Liverpool team, there is a problem. And I saw a conversation taking place between Cy Brundish and Taintless Red on Twitter before I logged on, talking about Mo. And, somebody in the replies said, oh, it's just a season too far from Mo. And I thought, that's interesting. And then I thought to myself, I'd actually be more worried about Mo, because I'm actually not all that worried about him, but I would be worried if everything else was working and playing well, and he was an outlier. I'd be concerned. But he's not. He's no better or worse than the vast majority. With the exception of a couple of players, everybody is crap at the moment. And it's not just this game. It's not just the last couple of games. It's pretty much the entire season. Virgil's been really good. Just okay today. But, Sobel's been really good. I think we've had the goalkeeper's been something we can rely on. I don't think you can blame Mamarashvili for the goals today. I think he's been good. Ali was really good. Hugo has done well, the best of the new signings so far. But even at that, I wouldn't go as far as to say he's having a good season to date. Now, I think, if he's young and he's been in and out of the team because obviously the Isak thing is going on and wherever else. But like, there's just, it's an endless list of problems. And a manager who right now doesn't look like he has the first fucking clue how to fix it. But one thing he's definitely going to do is he's going to play his kids and he's going to insist that we give the ball to them a lot, no matter how badly they play. So there's that, that's something to lean into.
That's a really interesting part of this, Karl, because as Dave says, you just wander around from man to man on the pitch and it's far more misses than hits. And in terms of the overall disjointedness, that has been the theme of the conversations that most, I think I referred to us as seasoned footy watchers, which tickles Cy Brundish, have been kicking around amongst ourselves. And so you come back to that question and it's sort of brought into a little bit of relief with the focus on the manager there at the end from Dave. I've often asked you this question when we talk about the opposition at the start of shows. But as you watch us now, I think I asked you the last week as well, and I'm just going to double down here. do you see a plan that's failing? At least do you see a shape or an idea that is just not materializing? Because if I could see that, I think I'd have something to hold on to.
Um, Hello. No, not really. I think there's been too much of a departure from, the shape, let's say, of last season. And if you go into a new shape, then fine, all well and good. There's not, generally speaking, a problem with that. But haven't put like any particular base in place for that. Like if we're supposed to be a 4-2-3-1, well, let's say your double pivot is basically your removable object, and we're never really with a double pivot. We're kind of, well, the midfield's all over the place. We've been over it enough. As Dave said, and as I've spoken before, the combinations and partnerships between like your fullback and centre back on each side of the pitch, and the fullback and wide player on each side of the pitch, they should be like primary things that you work on in modern football in terms of build-up play, off the ball as well, but definitely in terms of build-up play. But I mean, how many times did we, considering how much the ball was out there, how many times did we see Bradley and Salah actually play off each other today? How many times did Onkerkes doing the overlap on Gakpo, he actually received the ball or make the space for Gakpo to do something with? There's just so much disconnect and a lack of cohesion in this side at the minute. And I mean, yeah, you can say, like, you can see what the plan is in terms of it wants to be more of a number 10 or more of, I don't know, whatever you want to pick, any particular thing, but that's not like an entire game strategy that we're used to seeing. This team is not tactically playing at a level. It's also not technically playing at a level, and there's no organization off the ball whatsoever. Like, we'll get into it and like whatever about the results and the goals and stuff like that. But after we scored the goal that we did today, there were a few times that we got the ball and we had about, I don't know, 7 different lines from 10 people. Like very, very few people were playing in the same line as each other. And I just don't really know what that is supposed to portray. Like, there's a lot to fix here at the minute. Anna has a big job on right now because he's the one who has changed things around to what we have got. And we all know that there are many different circumstances which go into this season, and transfers is only one part of it. But I don't think that any of the reasons which could impact this season are anything to do with what we're seeing tactically.
Yeah, I think if Melwood was a prison ground, there'd be a terribly large chance of Cody Gakpo getting shivved by Kirkes tomorrow, as the lads were walking around for their bit of more. One of those really egregiously obvious things that isn't working in terms of return passes and allowing him to do the things that he does. And it's easy to pick out individuals like him because I think what he's being asked to do, it makes him more of a bad guy, and more obviously so, with the constant balls in field and being sort of tethered to the left hand side of Virgil van Dijk. When he makes those runs, then nothing's coming. Towards the end of the game there was a perfect example. I just thought, wow, I would do violence to that man. So yeah, it's disjointed all over the place. And I don't know, Dave, I mean, what did you think of the selection in terms of who he put out there today? It's easy now after the event. We can all say, and I think we can all say with great validation now, that we'd like to have seen Fede Chiesa play. We can all say that we're not 100% sure why he's insistent on certain people. When you saw the lineup, were you a little bit nervous? Because I can't say it did a whole lot for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, we're coming off Conor Bradley having a multitude of stinkers in which he was hooked early in games. He's back in the team for reasons. Ibu, it was coming off multiple stinkers. He's in the team for reasons. Now, I didn't mind Ibu today. I thought Ibu did pretty well today. Virgil, is going to start, and Virgil you're comfortable with, but I would have rather play Robbo than Kirkes today. I think Robbo, his last couple of outings has warranted a start. So, I mean, for me, 3 of the back 4 probably shouldn't have started. And I think the performance of the 2 fullbacks validated that they shouldn't have started. I was very concerned about that double pivot in midfield because it hasn't been working this season, bar the first half against Everton, which coincidentally is the last time either of them two played well. And it's actually the only time this season McAllister has played well from the start. Szoboszlai back in the 10 I was happy with because I think we need him there, even though we also need him right back and maybe deeper in midfield. And maybe the biggest issue we have is that we only have one Dom Szoboszlai. Was happy enough with Mo starting. I would have started Hugo because I just think he's the more informed player. And because Isak played a lot on the international break, so I would have liked to seen Hugo play. I thought in the first 5 minutes that Hugo was on the pitch, he probably did more than Isak had done in his entire time on the pitch. And like you said, Fede Chiesa, I mean, I would have liked to see Wirtz start on the left. But failing that, I would have gone for Fede Chiesa. And I think it's pretty fair to say that so far this season, Fede Chiesa has been our best attacker. I think he started one game, which was the Southampton game in the League Cup, which he was the best player on the pitch in. And aside from that, he's getting substitute appearances, and it doesn't seem to matter what he does. Like, he comes on today, he makes the goal, he puts Brian Mbeumo in the stand, he crunches into a couple of tackles, he puts in a couple of good crosses, and every time he has the ball, he's looking to make something happen. He's aggressive with it. He's moving towards the ball so that as he receives it, he's got momentum into his next step. Whereas you watch Cody, and you guys have just mentioned the fact that Kirkes gives the ball to Cody, or the ball gets to Cody and Kirkes goes in the overlap. And Cody has absolutely no interest in passing him the ball. Zero interest. But that's not the only flaw there.
Alright, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at anfieldindexpro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.